Hey everyone, happy Saturday. Hope everyone's weekend is going well. I spent about half a day in the shop here, about to head home. So let's talk about what I did. I'll come back to this in a minute. So, worked on this guy primarily. I went ahead and I don't know, I was just kind of getting tired of wiring, so I decided to go ahead and put the engine to body seals in. And they fought me a bit despite having spent quite a bit of time straightening the metal channels out the best I could. They were pretty mangled in a lot of spaces, a lot of places, which it poses a challenge. You know, you sort of do your best to straighten them out, but anyway, so they went in okay. It wasn't the worst ones I've done, but yeah, so those are in front and back. So we shall see. I'm almost second guessing myself that I should have left those out until I at least like test fit the motor with the new tin that's going to come in, because I might have to trim the tin a little. This is of course a 40 horse engine compartment and a 1600 engine. I don't think I should have to trim it, but we'll see. Every car is a little different. But anyway, so I went ahead and put that in first, and then turned my attention to wiring, and didn't get a hell of a lot done, but I did. Oops, flashlight's trying to die. I did take the left side headlight harness, which also has the horn harness on it and the brake light switch harness, and get it routed through the body right here, and then from there it goes inside the car to the headlight dimmer switch, and then it goes to the front of the car to, again, the horn, which should be, although they've shaved their, I don't know, we'll have to put some kind of mount here for a horn, because they've shaved the bumper mounts. That's kind of interesting. I hadn't noticed that before. So anyway, yeah, and then the brake switch. So I hadn't really looked at the master cylinder on this car before. I just today, for the first time, jacked the front of the car up and pulled the wheel so I could get in there. So there's some kind of interesting stuff going on here, which is not really all that surprising. One of which, and I don't think that I've seen this done before, I hope you'll be able to see this, is for some reason they plumbed, let's see if I can get my light to stay somewhere. They plumbed it in with this lower port here is usually used for the brake light switch. So normally the brake light switch goes here. So this is on the front circuit. Brake light switch here, left brake here, right brake on the top. But for whatever reason, they put the brake switch on the top, and then this is going to the right brake, and then this is going to the left. Kind of an interesting choice, but then here's the real kicker is that, and I don't know if it's because they put that brake light switch there. So normally with these, what you do is you put the master cylinder right on top of you put the reservoir right on top of the master cylinder, but normally the reservoir would kind of come out this direction a little bit. I don't know if it's because of the switch or what, where they didn't have room, but instead of putting the master cylinder on top, the reservoir on top of the master cylinder, I have to get down here where you guys can see this. They've got it up here connected by a couple hoses, but then it's basically, you can see here the safety wire. If I can get my hand in there. You see the safety wire there? They basically, because it's just on hoses, which obviously are flexible, so to keep the reservoir from like flopping around, they safety wired it to, I don't even know what. I think they safety wired it to a fuel hose. Yeah, let's see if you can see that. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but it is all kind of hokey. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that before. So I don't know. I got to do something about that. That's just unbelievable. I don't understand how people do stuff like that. It literally
safety wired it to a fuel hose to keep it from flopping around, instead of like installing it correctly on top of the master cylinder, or putting it somewhere else remotely and running the hoses and properly bolting it down, which I've done that before. Like, there's a bunch of other ways you could do this that don't involve it flopping around and being held in place by safety wire. This is some kind of like next level. I don't know what I'm even gonna call it here. Yeah, so that was kind of surprising to find that, because wow. Guys, I don't get anxiety very easily, but this car is starting to give me anxiety. Like, every time I look at it, I find something new that I'm just not happy about. Another thing, which is a small thing, but a thing nonetheless, is being as how this car has Porsche style wheels on it. Porsche wheels take a ball seat lug nut or lug bolt, and whoever put this car together put on conical lug nuts or lug bolts, right? Well, yeah, lug nuts. So these don't even fit properly in the seats on the wheels. This is a 60-degree taper lug nut, and Porsche wheels are made for the ball shape. So this should be like a curve, like a part of a sphere shape. So it just doesn't seem like the safest idea to me. So again, another example of, I don't know, whoever built this car, I don't know if it's the guy that painted it. Maybe he's really good at painting, but should leave the building to someone else. I'm sorry if whoever built this car comes across this video, but wow, guys, seriously, this car is stressing me out because of the stuff that I keep finding. Anyway, but yeah, so pretty much ran those wires through the body there, and then up toward the front for the brake switch and the horn, and then into the car. This is the other thing that I don't really know. If anyone has any suggestions, I am all ears. I cannot for the life of me figure out how, there's my flashlight trying to die. I can't figure out how these panels are even held in. I tried to like get a plastic pry bar between them and the body and see if they pried off, like maybe if they had put clips in, kind of like used on the door panels, and they won't budge. So I don't know if these things are like screwed to the body and then they upholstered over them so the screws were hidden. I mean, it's super clean as far as the install goes. I mean, it fits like a glove all the way around and everything, but I'll be damned if I know how this thing comes out. Because yeah, it's making it a challenge to do the wiring up here for the dimmer switch, which you can see is kind of like partially hidden behind that panel there. I mean, I can get the wires plugged onto it, but routing this wire through there, major pain in the ass, because it's kind of coming in behind that panel, and I had to kind of get it fished out, and anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much this one for today. Again, I was only here for a few hours, so got done what I got done. Okay, so this one, and then I'll finish up with the newly shiny Porsche replica over here. So this car came in today. I've been talking to the various members of the family here for a while, and finally had some space, had them go ahead and bring it in. So this car has been in the family since I think the 70s. Oh, by the way, it's a 67 Beetle for those of you that didn't pick it out. So this car has been in the same family since I think the 70s, and one of the sisters had the car, and then her brother bought it from her at some point, maybe like in the 80s, and is the current owner. And he, I think, is the one who did most of the modification to the car as far as, you know, wheels, suspension. It's got a pretty bitchin' little motor in it. Sounds great. I'll start it up for you guys sometime, not right now. But yeah, it's 1915 with dual Webers, I assume. I don't know if they're Webers or Delortos. I didn't even look that close. I don't know what size they are, but it sounds very healthy. Sounds like it's got some straight cut gears in it because it's got that signature whining sound. Some dual quiet pack mufflers, bitchin' sounding car. So he doesn't really have a place to work on the car currently, and they're kind of concerned about the safety of the car, stuff like that. It sat for a long time. So they're wanting me to do a few things. One is, go through the car, make sure the brakes are all safe, etc. I noticed immediately looking at it that his tires are dry rotted, so we'll be putting some new tires on it. I'll check the front end alignment, check all the indicator lights and stuff, make sure all that works. And then they want me to go ahead and paint the deck lid. So I'll pull one of the taillight housings and get some paint mixed up. And it's gonna need a little body work. It's got some I don't know, like DA marks on it or something. So yeah, we'll straighten that out and then paint it. And then we're gonna kind of color sand and buff the rest of the car best we can. We might, so this has all been touched up with like a brush and paint that's not that great of a match. So I don't know, we may see about blending this panel in here too while we're at it. Yeah, and then buff the whole car. Obviously it's gonna have some patina and stuff on here and there, but it's gonna look really good. I think those are kind of the main things. They're wanting me to, because this car actually, when the current family, actually the current owner, the man that has it, it was stolen from him at some point, and they recovered it minus the motor and I don't know, some other stuff, wheels. And so the car's been stolen before, so they're wanting me to install an alarm in it or recommend them someone who can. So I'll probably put a simple alarm in it that'll go off if you open the doors or whatever, stuff like that. I think, yeah, like I said, I'll do a tune-up, probably change the oil, adjust the valves, sync the carbs, make sure it's running tip-top. I see it doesn't really seem like it has a horn at the moment, so fix that. Yeah, that's it. So kind of a mini project, taking care of just a lot of the little things. They just want to make sure that the car is safe and reliable and stuff so he can go back to enjoying it on a regular basis. And so that's what we're gonna do, and cosmetically make it look better. He did say something about changing the beam out. It does have an adjustable beam in it, but it doesn't have drop spindles. So the front of the car is dropped 100% right now with beam, which means that the arms are not really at a great angle, and it feels like the shocks might be bottomed out, like it just doesn't really have any suspension left. So I'm gonna take a look at that, see what's going on. We may have to put drop spindles on it and adjust the beam. I don't know, we'll see. So there's some little things like that. The other thing that's kind of odd is that the front of the car has drums on it and the back has discs. So I don't know, I may recommend to them that we go ahead and put drop spindles and disc brakes on the front. And then again, it does have an adjustable beam, but if the beam has enough adjustment in it, then we'll leave that alone and just put the spindles on, get the arms at a better angle so it rides better and the shocks aren't bottomed out or close to bottomed out. So lots of little opportunities there. Let me show the inside of the car real quick. This car has some super 80s stuff going on, which I love. You guys probably recognize that style door panel from back in the day. And then the seats, which are kind of cool in their own right, I think are from a Honda or something. And it looks like somebody did some custom upholstery there on the back seats. So yeah, it's kind of I'd say like an 80s Survivor. So we'll clean it up a bit. It's got the wink mirror in it, which also just screams like 80s or early 90s. So really fun car. So looking forward to this one, and again, making it kind of safe and bringing the cosmetics of it up a bit for them. So yeah, okay, let's take a look at this guy now, the moment you've all been waiting for. This thing actually polished out really nice. Look at that, you can see my reflection in it. Hey guys. So yeah, night and day difference. So some of the areas where the scratches were pretty severe still show if you look close enough. And then unfortunately, probably the worst overall part of the car now is the hood, which had a lot of like little checks in the paint through it. And so, we did polish it, but there's not really much well, there's nothing we can do to get rid of that short of repainting the hood. So I'll see, you know, if the owner wants us to, we can repaint the hood. But, you know, honestly, I think with the rest of the car still having little scratches and stuff on it, I think it's not that bad, honestly. So what I told the owner is we took his paint job from like a 20-foot paint job. So there were these areas back here. We took it from like a 20-foot paint job to like maybe you know, I don't know, like a 10-foot paint job or something like that. So car's looking much better. Once we get some wheels and tires and bring the front up, it's gonna look killer. And that's about the last thing we have to do, actually. So that is it, guys. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.